Hello and welcome to Mastermind with me, Clive Myrie. In the spotlight tonight are Paddy Pamment, a recruitment consultant whose specialist subject is the jazz pianist Bill Evans. Suzette Agard, a chaplain who will be answering questions on Georges Remi and his creation, Tintin. Katie Lane, an English tutor, her subject is the designer William Morris. And Blake Robinson, a master's student whose specialist subject is the Doctor Who spin-off series, Torchwood. Master the nerves, master the pressure, and you could become a mastermind. But which one of our contenders tonight has what it takes to make it through to the semi-finals? Who will master 2 minutes on their specialist subject and 2.5 minutes on general knowledge? We're about to find out. So let's ask our first contender to join us, please. Your name?
Paddy Pamment.
Your occupation?
Recruitment consultant.
And your specialist subject?
The jazz pianist Bill Evans.
Yes, the brilliant but troubled jazz musician known for his highly nuanced approach to piano playing. In 2 minutes, let's go. What's the title of Bill Evans' popular composition inspired by his young niece that appeared on his debut album, New Jazz Conceptions?
Waltz for Debbie.
Yes, the beginnings of Evans' jazz career can be traced back to a high school band performance where he improvised what he called a little blues thing with his right hand during which song?
Tuxedo Junction.
Yes, Evans stated that he learned how to accompany on piano from which New Jersey band leader with whom he worked during the early 1950s?
Mondello.
No, Herbie Fields. What was the nickname given to Evans by his friend and collaborator George Russell because he looked so unlike a jazz musician?
Mr. Nice Guy.
No, The Minister. In 1956, which independent record label gave Evans his first contract after the guitarist Mundell Lowe played a recording of an Evans gig over the phone to label executives?
Riverside Records.
Yes, Evans played in the Miles Davis Band for 7 months in 1958 and then rejoined in 1959 to record the album Kind of Blue, for which Evans composed but was not credited for which track?
Blue in Green.
Yes, the original album cover for Everybody Digs Bill Evans includes quotes of praise from Miles Davis, George Shearing, Cannonball Adderley, and which other jazz musician?
Louis Armstrong.
No, Ahmad Jamal. The title of the track, Person I Knew, is intentionally an anagram of the name of which record producer, collaborator, and friend of Evans?
Orrin Keep News.
Yes, who conducted and arranged the orchestra during the 1965 recordings for the album Bill Evans Trio with Symphony Orchestra?
George Russell.
No, Klaus Ogerman. In 1958, Evans played as part of the Eddie Costa Quartet on an album of interpretations of songs from what popular stage musical?
Carousel.
No, Guys and Dolls, who became Evans' manager in the early 1960s and remained in the role for the rest of Evans' life.
Pass.
Bill Evans' final performances before his death in 1980 were at which New York club run by Steve Getz?
Birdland.
No, Fat Tuesdays. In October 1966, the Bill Evans Trio appeared at the Edvard Munch Museum in Oslo, performing their set beneath what vast painting by the artist?
The Screen.
No, The Researchers. Paddy, you had just the one pass. Who became Evans' manager in the early 1960s? Remaining, yeah, you knew it was Helen Keane. I know, it's that chair, man. It's that chair.
Is.
And at the end of that round, Paddy, you've got 5 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. Your name?
Suzette Agard.
Your occupation?
Chaplain.
And your specialist subject?
Georges, Remi and Tintin.
Yes, the stories of Tintin and his Belgian creator, Georges Remi, more commonly known by his pen name, Hergé. In 2 minutes, starting now. What's the name of the character devised and first drawn by Hergé for Le Boy Scout magazine in 1926, who would metamorphose into Tintin 3 years later?
Totor.
Yes, the first Tintin cartoon strip appeared in 1929 in a weekly magazine supplement to a Belgian newspaper. What was the title of this supplement?
The Petit Vingtième.
Yes, what's the original French name of Tintin's dog Snowy, whom Hergé named after his childhood girlfriend?
Milou.
Yes, in the Calculus Affair, what's the name of the chief of the Bordurian secret police, created by Hergé as an evil caricature of his brother Paul?
Mousselet.
No, Colonel Spons. In The Broken Ear, the two dictatorships of San Theodorus and Nuevo Rico were created by Hergé to parody Bolivia and what other country?
Paraguay.
Yes, Thompson and Thompson, the bowler hat-wearing detectives, are known in Spanish translations as Hernandez and who?
Fernandez.
Yes, which Tintin story was created by Hergé as a critical satire of the Anschluss, Hitler's annexation of Austria in 1938.
King Otto's scepter.
Yes, what was the name of Hergé's scientific collaborator on several projects whose book, On the Track of Unknown Animals, Hergé used to research the Yeti featured in Tintin in Tibet?
Bernard Hervelmans?
Yes, Hergé collaborated with the humorist Jacques van Melkerbaker on two musical plays in the 1940s. What's the title of the one in which Tintin seeks the help of Professor Doriford, the inventor of a truth detector?
The Disappearance of Mr. Bullock.
Yes, as part of his research into drawing the Ramona, the freighter ship featured in the Red Sea Sharks, Hergé spent time travelling on which real-life Swedish cargo vessel?
Aurora?
No, Ren Astrid. Hergé based the design of Marlin Spike Hall, Captain Haddock's ancestral home, on which chateau in the Loire Valley with the outer wings removed?
Chevalny.
Yes, when his publishers asked Hergé to come up with a more exciting title for Explorers on the Moon, he threatened to change it to what alternative title if they didn't back down?
Tintin in Space.
No, no salami for silly men. And Suzette, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 9 points. And our next contender, please. Your name,
Katie Lane,
your occupation,
English tutor.
and your specialist subject.
William Morris.
The 19th century poet, painter, designer, conservationist and social reformer, one of the leading figures of the arts and crafts movement. In 2 minutes, starting now, what was the name of the family home in Walthamstow where William Morris was born in 1834?
Elm House.
Yes, the group of friends based at Pembroke College whom Morris joined while at Oxford to discuss religion, poetry and other matters gave themselves what name which they later changed to the Brotherhood?
The Birmingham Set.
The Sets, yes, I'll take that. In 1859, Boris married Jane Burden, and for part of their honeymoon, they travelled to which European city where they stayed at the Hôtel du Commerce?
Ghent.
No, Bruges. In 1860, Morris and Jane took up residence in the Red House, an impressive red brick building near Bexley Heath that was designed for them by which of Morris's friends?
Philip Webb.
Yes, while living at the Red House, Morris began to design distinctive wallpapers, but chose not to manufacture these himself, preferring to use which company based in Islington?
Jeffrey & Co.
Yes, in the 1860s, Morris worked on his epic and much-lauded poem, The Earthly Paradise, a work inspired by Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, featuring a prologue and how many individual stories?
24.
Yes, in 1871, Morris and his friend Dante Gabriele Rossetti rented Kelmscott Manor, an Elizabethan house in Oxfordshire, from the executors of which farmer who died the year before?
John Smith.
No, James Turner, when Morris paid his first adventurous visit to Iceland in 1871. What was the name of the small but sturdy pony he brought back with him?
Diana.
No, Mouse. In order to learn about textile dyeing in the 1870s, Morris paid numerous visits to which dye house in Leek, owned by the businessman Thomas Wardle?
The Wardle Dye House.
No, Hencroft Works. In 1883, Morris stunned academics at which Oxford College when he gave a lecture analysing competitive commerce and proudly declared that he was one of the people called socialists?
University College.
Yes, in the 1880s, Morris's factory at Merton Abbey branched out into tapestry, with the first creation based on which Grimm Brothers fairy tale?
Pandora.
No, the Goose Girl. Shortly before his death, Morris took a cruise to Norway on the advice of his doctor and was accompanied on the trip by which of his friends?
Charles Faulkner.
No, it was John Carruthers. So, Katie, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 6 points.
Thank you.
And our final contender, please. Your name,
Blake Robinson,
your occupation,
master's student,
and your specialist subject.
Torchwood.
Yeah, the Doctor Who spin-off created by Russell T Davies about a team led by Captain Jack Harkness who investigate unusual occurrences. In 2 minutes, Starting now, what's the common name of compound B67, the so-called magic ingredient of an amnesia pill created by Captain Jack that helps maintain secrecy by wiping people's short-term memory?
Retcon.
Yes, in the opening episode, a police officer called Gwen Cooper infiltrates Torchwood's underground base by posing as a delivery person for what pizza company?
Jubilee Pizza.
Yes, in the 5-part story, Children of Earth, the UK government builds a containment cell for the ambassador of an alien race on the top floor of which MI5 building?
Thames House.
Yes, when Gwen's fiancé Reese offers to hide the Torchwood team in the back of his van to investigate a warehouse, she dismisses his suggestion, telling him it sounds like what television series?
Scooby-Doo.
Yes, what alien surgical instrument does Reese use to remove a Nostrovite egg from Gwen on their wedding day in the episode Something Borrowed?
The Singularity Scalpel.
Yes, what's the name of the antique clock shop run by the enigmatic time traveller Billis Manger in the episode End of Days?
Stitch in Time.
Yes, in the 10-part story, Miracle Day, a sentient energy force called the Blessing lies in a straight line directly through planet Earth from Shanghai to which other major city?
Buenos Aires.
Yes, in Dead Man Walking, Jack boasts to Owen that he once dated which famous author, describing him as really immature?
Proust.
Yes, in Greek's Bearing Gifts, Jack analyzes an alien device discovered next to a 200-year-old skeleton and finds traces of dark matter, pyroxene, and what other mineral?
Bauxite.
No, ilmenite in Children of Earth. Which actress plays Lois Habiba, a junior employee at the Home Office who wears special contact lenses with a built-in camera to spy for Torchwood?
Push Jumbo.
Yes, in To the Last Man, Torchwood member Toshiko confesses to the soldier Tommy Brockless that she never got round to learning to play what musical instrument?
The piano.
Yes, what's the name of the power station that Jack's colleague Owen attempts to stabilise after its controlling computers are attacked by the rogue time agent John Hart?
The Conwy.
No, Turnmill. What 3-word English phrase does every child in the world suddenly start? And I've started, so I'm going to finish. Repeating in unison in day 1 of Children of Earth.
We are coming.
It was. We are coming. Blake, you had no passes. You've got 11 points. And at the end of the specialist subjects round, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 5 points, it's Paddy. In 3rd place with 6 points, it's Katie. In 2nd place with 9 points, it's Suzette. And in 1st place with 11 points, it's Blake. So now the general knowledge round. And if there's a tie at the end, then the number of passes is taken into account. And the person with the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, then it's a tie break. So let's ask Paddy to join us again, please. So, Paddy, you start with 5 points. You've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Starting now. The word sarnie is an informal term for what food item?
Sandwich.
Yes, what television soap created by Julia Smith and Tony Holland was launched in 1985 when its first episode featured the discovery of a missing neighbour named Reg Cox unconscious in his flat?
Emmerdale.
No, EastEnders. What 5-letter word for a type of technology used in navigation was coined as an acronym of radio detection and ranging?
Radar.
Yes, the quote, light is therefore colour, is printed on the reverse of what denomination of Bank of England note?
£20 note.
Yes, the 2 famous 15th century paintings, The Birth of Venus and Primavera, both by Botticelli, are in the collection of which museum in Florence?
Museo del Prado.
No, the Uffizi Gallery. In the 1978 film The Wiz, based on The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy is played by which singer?
Judy Garland.
No, Diana Ross. In which Australian state is Cape York Peninsula, the northernmost part of the country's mainland?
Northern Territories.
No, Queensland. What's the surname of the British husband and wife Neil and Laura, who each won a gold medal in track cycling on the same day at the 2020 Tokyo Paralympics?
Kenny.
No, Faki. What war officially began with an attack on Fort Sumter in Charleston Harbor, South Carolina, in April 1861?
American Civil War.
Yes. What personal pronoun is the title of an 1887 novel by H. Rider Haggard, subtitled A History of Adventure, about 3 travelers in search of a legendary African queen who supposedly possesses the secret of immortality?
Her.
No, she. Which British singer won the Eurovision Song Contest in 1967 with the song Pop It on a String?
Sandy Shaw.
Yes, the Latin phrase tempus fugit translates literally as what?
Time is coming.
No, time flies. Which English city's airport is designated by the international code BHX?
Belfast?
No, Birmingham. What name derived from a Greek word for shawl is given to a short strip of fabric, sometimes known as an overskirt, that's attached to the waistline of a blouse, jacket or dress to create a hanging frill?
Pass.
The US Secretaries of State, Rex Tillerson and Mike Pompeo, served in the administration of which president?
Donald Trump?
Yes, which novel by Franz Kafka, published posthumously in 1925, opens with the line, "Someone must have slandered Joseph K. For one morning, without having done anything wrong, he was arrested."
The Trial?
Yes, in an arithmetic sequence or progression, the next number is determined by adding a constant to the previous number. What corresponding name is given to a progression in which the next number is determined by multiplying a constant by the previous number?
Exponential?
No, geometric progression. That's the end of your round. And Paddy, you had one pass. What name derived from the Greek word for shawl is given to a short strip of fabric, sometimes known as an overskirt? Peplum. And at the end of that round, Paddy, you've got 12 points. Next up, it's Katie. So, Katie, you start with 6 points. The score to beat as it stands is 12 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. On a standard set of traffic lights on British roads, what colour light is at the bottom of the three?
Green.
Yes, at the Academy Awards ceremony in 2022, what film about a hearing child from a deaf family won the Oscar for Best Picture?
Pass.
The port of Tobruk, which was the site of prolonged fighting during the Second World War, is in which North African country?
Algeria.
No, Libya. In a traditional nursery rhyme, what's the name of the character who could eat no fat and whose wife could eat no lean?
Jack Sprat.
Yes, what disease characterized by painful inflammation of the smaller joints, especially the big toe, is caused by the deposit of uric acid crystals?
Gout.
Yes, in the television series Murder, She Wrote, what's the name of the amateur detective played by Angela Lansbury?
Jessica... Oh, Jessica Tandy. No,
More?
it's not. No.
No, Jessica Fletcher.
Yeah.
Which listings magazine was founded in 1923 with the subtitle The Official Organ of the BBC?
The Radio Times.
Yes, in physics, wavelength is typically symbolized by which letter of the Greek alphabet?
Hertz.
No, lambda. What song, first recorded in 1971 by Don McLean, features the lyrics, "Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry"?
American Pie.
Yes, was the title of the 1978 ballet, choreographed by Kenneth Macmillan, based on the true story of the events leading up to the deaths of Crown Prince Rudolf of Austria-Hungary and his mistress, Mary Vetsera, in 1889.
Giselle.
No, Mailing. Aslan is the Turkish word for what wild animal?
Lion.
Yes, what organisation founded in 1946 by Roland Beryl and Lance Ware restricts its membership to people whose IQ puts them among the top 2% of the population?
Mensa.
Yes, one of the founding members of the breakaway rugby league in 1895 includes the word Trinity in its team name because the club was originally founded by members of the local Holy Trinity Church. In which city is the club based?
Bath.
No, Wakefield in Norse mythology, which god is said to have presided over the Palace of Valhalla?
Thor.
No, Odin. What was the name of the 15th century Dominican friar who became the first Grand Inquisitor of the Spanish Inquisition?
Capuchin.
No, Torquemada. What French name, derived from a Latin word meaning to complete, is also used in English for a clear soup made from a highly flavoured stock?
Consommé.
Yes, in a fairground stall known as a shy. What large, hard-shelled fruit is traditionally used as a target?
Coconut.
Yes, in art, what Italian word for chalk or gypsum is also used in English for a substance such as plaster of Paris that's mixed with water to coat a surface to prepare it for painting?
Chalk.
No, gesso.
Oh, I don't know that.
Katie, you had just the one pass at the Academy Awards ceremony. In 2022, the film about a hearing child from a deaf family that won the Oscar for Best Picture, it was Coda.
Okay.
And at the end of that round, Katie, you've got 15 points.
Thank you.
Next up, it's Suzette. Suzette, you start with 9 points. The score to beat as it stands 15 points. You've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge, starting now. In the job title of a person in overall charge of a company or organization, the letters MD normally stand for what?
Managing director.
Yes. What 1965 film musical features a group of nuns performing a song with the recurring line, "How do you solve a problem like Maria?"
The Sound of Music.
Yes, which highly corrosive acid is produced industrially using a method called the contact process.
Corrosive acid.
No, sulfuric acid, the name of which Spanish coastal resort is the title of a British television sitcom, first broadcast from 2007 to 2018, starring Jake Canuso and Janine Duvitsky.
Benidorm.
Yes, in the NATO phonetic alphabet, the letter K is represented by what abbreviated name for a metric unit of weight?
Kilo.
Yes, Parallel Lines and Eat to the Beat were UK #1 albums in the late 1970s for which American group?
The Beach Boys.
No, Blondie was the name of the famous lexicographer, essayist and critic who was born above his family's bookshop in Lichfield in 1709.
Samuel Pepys.
No, Samuel Johnson. Which airline was established in 1929 as the national carrier of Poland?
Polska.
No, Lot. In
Lot.
November 2021, Antonio Conte was appointed head coach of which English Premier League football club?
Tottenham.
Yes. In the common name of the largest known species of rattlesnake, sometimes known as the lozenge-spotted rattlesnake, what word referring to the shape of its distinctive markings follows the word eastern?
Diamond.
Yes, Diamondback. What was the name of the Egyptian politician who served as Secretary General of the United Nations from 1992 to 1996?
Not Nasser.
No, Boutros Boutros-Ghali. A gimlet cocktail usually consists of gin or sometimes vodka mixed with the sweetened juice of what citrus fruit?
Orange.
No, lime. What French term, which translates literally as black beast, is used in English for a person or thing that is particularly feared or disliked?
Bête noire.
Yes, in Greek mythology, which Titan was the father of the gods Zeus, Hera, and Poseidon?
Hero.
No, Kronos. What number is the cube root of 27?
9.
No, 3. King Henry, the first of England, is said to have died in 1135 from eating a surfeit of what eel-like fish?
Jelly deal.
No, lampreys.
Yeah.
Suzette, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got a total of 16 points.
Thank you.
And finally, let's have Blake again. So, Blake, you start with 11 points. The score to beat to get through to the semi-finals is Suzette's 16 points. And you've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge, starting now. The adjective oral, spelt O-R-A-L, pertains to which bodily cavity?
The mouth.
Yes, on television, which knighted British actor has played the characters Derek Trotter, Pop Larkin and Jack Frost?
David Jason.
Yes, a signet ring depicting Sir Peter, traditionally worn by the Pope, is commonly known in English as the piscatory ring, or by what other name?
Fisherman's ring.
Yes, which Welsh rock group had their second UK #1 album with their 2021 release, The Ultra Vivid Lament, 23 years after their first?
Manic Street Preachers.
Yes, membership of the lower house of the Irish Parliament is indicated by what 2-letter abbreviation after the person's name?
EI.
No, TD, a 1959 book by Laurie Lee in which he recounts his childhood in rural Gloucestershire, is entitled Cider with whom?
God.
No, Rosie. What name, the Japanese for empty orchestra, is given to the pastime of performing songs over pre-recorded backing music, usually to an audience?
Karaoke.
Yes, at the outset of which Shakespeare play is a young woman named Miranda living on a remote island with her father, Prospero?
The Tempest.
Yes, in architecture, a bulbous dome on top of a building, such as those used in Russian churches, is named after which vegetable?
Onion.
Yes, what 2004 film, based on a novel by Nicholas Sparks, tells the love story of a wealthy heiress played by Rachel McAdams and a young mill worker played by Ryan Gosling?
The Notebook.
Yes, St James's University Hospital, one of the UK's largest teaching hospitals and affectionately known as Jimmy's, is in which city in northern England?
Newcastle.
No, Leeds, which Australian tennis player nicknamed the Rockhampton Rocket, was the first to win the calendar Grand Slam twice, in 1962 and again in 1969. No, Rod Laver. The name for what items of nightwear is derived from Persian words for leg and clothing.
Shawl.
No, pajamas. The leaves of which aromatic herb used as a seasoning or garnish are sometimes known as Chinese parsley or cilantro.
Coriander.
Yes, what alliterative name is given to the anatomical condition often referred to as fallen arches?
AA.
No, flat feet. In Greek mythology, which goddess was forced to spend part of each year in the underworld because she'd eaten pomegranate seeds while being held there by Hades?
Stephanie.
Yes, what word from the Latin for flesh is used to refer to the decaying remains of dead animals that are fed upon by scavenging wildlife?
Corpse.
No, carrion. The 1786 artwork, The Market Cart, in the collection of the National Gallery, I've started so I'll finish, was painted by which landscape artist, one of the founding members of the Royal Academy and a long-time rival of Sir Joshua Reynolds?
Gainsborough.
It was Thomas Gainsborough. Blake, you had no passes, and you've done it. You've got 22 points.
Thank you.
So let's have a look at the final scores. In fourth place with 12 points, it's Paddy. In third place with 15 points, it's Katie. In second place with 16 points, it's Suzette. And in first place with 22 points, it's Blake, which means he goes through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to him. If you would like to be a contender in the next series, please go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us at Mastermind Quiz. Join us again next time for more Masterminds. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
My specialist subject was Torchwood. It has phenomenal actors, phenomenal scripts, and it holds a special place to my heart over the years. And I always thought it was as a cross between CSI and X-Files in the Doctor Who universe set in Cardiff, which I find really brilliant. Thames House.
Yes.
The Singularity Scalpel.
Yes.
The piano.
Yes.
It was my father who very encouraged me to apply, been testing me every other day or so. He's a big tennis fan, so to get Rod Laver wrong was very embarrassing.
No, Rod Laver.
When Clive told me that I won, and by a certain margin, I was very shocked.
Blake, you've done it. You've got 22 points.
Thank you. Finishing the round with 22 was phenomenal. I always put 21 as a certain target, and for me to get more than 21, never mind win it, was amazing.
And in first place with 22 points, it's Blake, which means he goes through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to him.
If I was to get to the final and win it on my 24th birthday, that would make me the youngest ever winner, passing Jonathan Gibson's record, but I know that is not an easy feat, but not an impossible one.